Hi everybody, welcome back to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins, and in this episode we continue to work on the Freedom 17 Cedar Strip Canoe. We haven't had any video for getting close to 2 weeks, and that's simply been because I've just been putting strips on, and there's only so much you can say about it, but we are getting into some rather complex hard curves and twists, and so I thought we might take a look at how I'm negotiating those and putting a strip on. So we did this one this morning, and just now finished this one, which is what most of the video is about. So you got to get your angles cut right on your stems. You got to get the previous plank beveled, and it's got kind of a rolling bevel to it. We use the robo bevel for that. So anyway, it's coming along nicely, but we're still got a long way to go. So anyway, we're glad you're here. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and maybe click the little bell. Is it on that side? I never know. If you want to get updates, if you want to get notified when the next video's coming out. So anyway, welcome. Let's jump in and see what we can do. Just dry fitting this. It's really tough up here. Got a real hard bend coming into the stem. Right there. I've been using the robo bevel, but I don't feel like I can get enough on there because I keep running into this. So I just was doing it by hand with the X-Acto knife, and then that's got to come up and bend all the way up there like that. And that's pretty good. I think I'm okay with that. That'll look like that. See, I don't have that beveled off enough. Look at that big crack there. If I push that in like that, that's a little better. Well, I could probably live with that because I can get those flush with tape. That's nice. That's good. That's really good. Good. Good, good. Good. Good, I'm good with all of it. I think we're ready to glue that down. So this one that we're taking the tape off of is the next one up. So in other words, this one on the other side that I just got done dry fitting, that is the one that's equal to this one. So we've already done this one, and we know what kind of curves and angles we're dealing with because they're very symmetrical. For a long time, I was pretty straight down here in the stem, and we didn't have a lot of bend there. And then even this form here was straight all the way to here. So all of these lower strips, my biggest problem was just bending around here, even up coming into the chine here. That was where I had my difficulty and had to use the robo bevel the most to create that rolling bevel into this thing. Up here it was pretty flat. I didn't have to do much. So now, though, these are actually almost to 90 degrees to the frame. Certainly here, you don't have to hardly use the bevel at all. But coming into here, it's like almost straight up and down here, but then you've got a real hard bevel here and here before it kind of flattens out back here. So when it comes in here, it's slightly bending down, it's bending around, and it's twisting. So it gets flat there while it's trying to hit the frames like this here. It's tricky to fit, but you just take your time and kind of play with it. I'd been using just a short piece of board just on there to test in between stations, just to make sure that my bevels seem to be right, like it would lay up there against the frame flat. So we are getting to the bottom of the boat. So once we get up in here, once we get on top of this, once we get on top of the stem, it's going to be easy going into the football. The football's that kind of oval football shape that we'll have up here in the bottom. Something to be said for dry fitting it like that, letting it sit there for a little bit. It has a tendency to let the wood kind of start to bend a little bit. We're going to run a bead of glue on here. Now this is a little tedious in places because we're almost horizontal up there. And I'm using tight bond, no drip, but it's dripping. So it's kind of maddening. And quite honestly, I may put a little glue in after I've got the strip almost all the way down. We'll see. And I expect to get it all over myself. Once I got going, I kind of got on a roll. Take your finger on the inside there and catch any that's dripping, and it also kind of smooths it out. Trying not to let it run all over the wood, because then you've got just that much more you have to sand. Can't be monkeying around too much either, because it's going to start setting up. All right, let's rock and roll. Put a few cleats, one down there, kind of one up here. See, I had this one all ready to go. This isn't necessarily where they'll be by the time I'm done. I'm just trying to get it bent into place and get it to lay down like that. You kind of take that cleat, twist it just a little bit, and push it in. Not only are we curving around this way, twisting at the end, but we also got to make it bend in and lay flat. That's why I had to go to the 3/4 inch strips, 1 inch ones. I've got 1 inch strips down here. There's no way you could, I mean, you might be able to, but it's extremely difficult. The 3/4 inch is difficult enough. Well, it's laying in there nicely though. Look at that. See, I don't even hardly need a clamp there. Kind of got to bend it down here. We're going to just take that cleat, kind of throw it in. Good, 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 good. We knew these ends were going to be the trickiest. We're going to work into them just a station at a time. I got this couple little cleats where I cut the slot in at a slight curve. It doesn't work all the time, but every once in a while you're able to catch that other bottom strip that's next to it. All right, let's try to catch these ends and straighten these up. It's got a twist here. It's got to come like that and then come up like that. And you can see it's having some problems. I think we can fix this with some tape though. The other thing I did is I put some downward pressure on it. You see the glue squeezing out. See that squeeze out right there? Exactly what we want. It's amazing how you can bend these and then how they'll stay once they're glued. Sometimes I go to take the clamps and the tape off and I just think it's just going to go spring. It hasn't yet. This was absolutely my most difficult part on this particular strip. Run out of tape here. See, I'm going to be able to squeeze this down. See that right there? See that glue squeeze out? Nice. The other thing I'm doing is I'm pinching these together so that this is fairly flush. It will be smoother on the inside and smoother on the outside. Got much less to plane and sand. Which actually I already started doing some today, kind of up in the middle of the boat. I took off a ton of material, or it felt like it. Even as careful as I'm being, you still have little ridges, little edges. See, I can push that one in to mesh with that one. And then we'll tape that. I already had the next roll ready to go. You want to be as ready with all your clamps and everything as you can possibly be. Still no clamp up here. I don't think you can see where I'm at. lay it in there perfect. I don't need a clamp. Something else I want to point out is that this is a much finer entry here. I'm up against a wall, or I'd back up so you can see what I'm talking about. Maybe you can see if we come and look at it from this way. See how pointy it is? This is the bow. This boat's not symmetrical. So when we come back around the back, it's fatter. And quite honestly, it's making it easier to put the strips on in the back. So we got that strip on. Up here, I couldn't even figure out a way to clamp it. I just taped it. But I feel pretty good about it. It's laying in there pretty nice. You know, right in here, that's pretty flush. All the way up to here. And it gets a lot easier once you get up past 13 and up here to 14. I guess that's 12. Anyway. Got that on there. Here's what I was talking about. I did a bunch of sanding or planing on this earlier. Pretty good, pretty smooth. I mean, that's pretty much ready to be sanded right there. As tedious and as long a job as it is, while I'm waiting for strips to set up or whatever, it's pretty easy to just take I love this little Sureform plane. What to do with it? Right here. This thing's awesome. It's like a cheese grater, Stanley, Sureform plane. It makes quick work of it. I highly recommend that tool. One of my favorites.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.